Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. There are plenty of great cabins to choose from, folks, when you check parksidecabinrentals.com, and that includes a bevy of new properties that you can view at that website. But even if you're all vacationed out at this point, it's not too early to start booking for those football weekends this fall. The leaves are changing. You want to get together with friends and watch the game. You can do so in a beautiful cabin, parksidecabinrentals.com. Check them out today. Okay, now I've double and triple checked my rundown, and I'm correct. What we're doing in this segment is we're talking about Tennessee football recruiting and whether or not it's been aided by baseball. And here's what I'm getting at. Tennessee is currently ranked number 47 in the nation in recruiting, according to 247sports.com. That puts them 12th in the 14-team SEC. It also puts them about 40 spots behind some guy named Greg Schiano at Rutgers. Anyway, UT has 6 commitments at the moment, 1 4-star, 5 3-stars. Now, we all know what Heupel inherited. We've laid it out 1,000 times. We know he's got a huge NCAA cloud of unknown, I said huge, we actually don't know how huge, floating overhead right now. You've already had players who chose Kentucky over Tennessee who said, oh yeah, that was the main reason. That's out there. It's a bad situation, what he inherited. Still, do you think baseball's long, unexpected, successful run was like jangling keys in front of your dog, and the dog's looking over here? Do you think that baseball success got fans' attention over here and away from the football recruiting for the time being? I just wonder if you wouldn't have had more hand-wringing over the last month or two with these numbers if you hadn't had Vitello's success in baseball. So my question is, does Heupel owe a thank you note to Tony Vitello for keeping people's attention on something other than recruiting right now?
Yeah, but he can rescind the thank you note because baseball's over.
That's right. Now,
and now the focus does get back to football. And I think with every dismissal of a quarterback or every receiver that transfers and every defensive lineman that leaves, then I think that adds a little bit more concern. And then it's like, well, okay, well, you lost Emerson. Yeah, but we got this defensive lineman coming. No, you don't. So I think that now more attention is going to be focused, and you're going to start hearing more concern from the fan base about recruiting.
Josh, there was another bit of news yesterday that I had to alert you to.
Right, sure.
I'll let you tell the story.
You did so much better with it, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bronte, the defensive back from Kansas, came down to Tennessee and South Carolina. So it came down to 2 schools with first-year coaches trying to get the program started. And yesterday evening, he announced that he's going to South Carolina. You hear Kansas think, do we really want him? He really did well last year as a freshman. Was a freshman All-American, graded out really well by Pro Football Focus, if that matters to you. But he just, statistically, it backed up what people said about him. And instead, you're going to face him in the East. And Tennessee needs help. They're still trying to build the defensive backfield. So that is a miss. So to your question, I would say yes. I think the baseball team took away some of that attention. There's not as much. I don't know how many people knew that he was making a decision this weekend. Earlier this week, or this past week, Dallin Hayden, a legacy running back, Aaron Hayden's son, chose Ohio State, top 10 player in the state of Tennessee. I don't think he got as much attention. There would have been a huge build-up to what's going on in state, not as much because of the attention on baseball.
Bob, does Heupel owe a thank you note over to Vitello?
No, I think he definitely does. He owes a thank you note to Vitello, and I think he needs to drive up to New York and find Jeremy Pruitt and strangle him. I mean, was it not about a year ago when Tennessee was on this commitment run? Yep. It was just about a year ago when Tennessee's blowing away the recruiting world. Got up to number 2, I believe.
Number 2 behind Ohio State, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just doing fantastic things. So compare where you're at now to compare where you were a year ago. Compare the 2021 class to what it is compared to what this time last year everybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So there's a downer.
All right, well, let's try and turn this thing around. We'll get a little more positive in the next segment. The one I was chomping at the bit to get to, and that is which UT sport is currently in the best shape, and I mean over the next 5 years. Later, we'll talk about which one's closer to a national title, and that could be 2 different answers depending on how you look at it. We'll discuss both of those. But next, which of, and normally we cover the revenue sports here. That's football and men's basketball. Those are the ones that drive the ratings. Tell you about it all the time, the ones that get the attention. Well, we're going to throw baseball in there, obviously, because that's top of mind right now. So football, men's basketball, baseball, which is in better shape over the next 5 years. Come on back, we'll discuss.